Alright guys, today we're going to be covering Monster Hunter Wilds and the tumultuous launch. As you can see, it's been quite divisive. It's been like a 50-50 split of people that have the hardware to enjoy and experience the game, and then the other half who just are struggling just in the depths just to pull through and even just see what's happening in there. And unfortunately, I'm one of those 50% on the bottom half. I want to say just off top, this is not a hate piece. I love Monster Hunter. I've been in it for 20 years. I've played practically every title on a range of consoles. You know, I've been through G rank, fought Goblins Eos, like all, you know, the big boy monsters or whatever. But unfortunately, it's been very difficult to enjoy this one just due to the lack of performance and really being able to see just be able to see and experience the game really. So yeah, this video is going to consist of a little bit of rant, a little bit of a run through of my experience trying to stream it last night, which wasn't very long and had a lot of problems, and a little tiny conspiracy later. But yeah, nothing too serious. I tried the beta. I wasn't getting brilliant performance on that to start with, but it was kind of reasonable enough to actually, you know, do the fights and not have it drop so savagely that I'm like getting cheated by the monster or whatever, you know, where there's just big frame drop and then something hits you that you just couldn't even avoid or whatever. So I was kind of already on the fence as to whether I should buy it or not. I downloaded the benchmark and I got pretty good results, although that was only if I run it at like 1080p. But that was 1080p at ultra settings. It was giving me like 18,000 points or something like that, 17,000 in that region, which is more than playable. It came out as good score or whatever. And, you know, if it really needed it, I could drop down the graphics and get to 20, which is, you know, smooth running. That was at, you know, lower graphic settings or whatever, like mid to low on 1080p, which is reasonable. It's, you know, it's not reasonable, but it's doable, you know what I mean? When it came to the actual game itself, I was a little bit worried about this, but it feels like it ran slightly poorer. I felt like the game actually ran better on the beta than the full game. Like I had slightly more FPS and it seemed a little bit smoother. So I don't know what's happened there. And I will state, my PC is not like terrible. Like it's a mid-range. I've got a AMD 3600X like CPU or whatever. I've got RTX 3060. So it's not like it should be struggling this much. But I will say, obviously I was streaming at the same time. I've got dual monitors, but you know, I'm running it on 1080p. I've not really had this problem in a big way with any other titles, like even on release. Like, you know, I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance right now. It's at medium graphics, but it runs smooth, so, you know, we're having a good time. And this is bearing in mind I'm running at 1080p, mid to low graphics. I've got DLSS on ultra performance, and even then we're struggling to get to 30 FPS, which is not really satisfactory at all. The graphics card was, you know, at full utilization the whole time, which obviously some of that has to do with me being on OBS at the same time trying to stream. But also the CPU was always hovering around the 70 to 80% mark, which is not usual for me. It's definitely a very CPU intensive game. I messed around with it a lot, but it doesn't seem like, you know, going from ultra settings down to the lowest settings, there's barely any difference in like actual FPS increase or anything. Like I was talking about, we're going from maybe mid 30 FPS to mid 20s or whatever. I did also have like my OBS crash like 4 times while I was trying to play it. And then at one point when I tried to start OBS up, it crashed Monster Hunter as well. So it's the whole time I was just fighting my hardware, just trying to have a good time. And it was very demoralizing, to say the least. Like I found it hard to even really pay attention to what was happening in the game or the story or anything like that, because I was just so focused on, is my game gonna work? Like, when will it start working? Is there something I can do to fix it? Like you can't really get immersed when you're too busy worrying about the real world, like hardware issues, if you know what I mean. Also, I had like a pretty funny graphical glitch. Like it wasn't good, but it kind of made me laugh where I just had these fucking big old triangle spaghetti scrimblies all over the screen that were like emanating from like this black hole with a gravitational force that was so strong that no frames could survive or ever escape again. So yeah, that was it was funny, but not in a good way. At that point, I kind of realized I'm fighting a losing battle here. I like tried to play a little bit more, just see if maybe killing another monster would, let me end on a high note at least. But yeah, it's one of those. The game really does need more time to be optimized, and in my opinion, they really shouldn't have released it in this state. But yeah, it's really been a blow to me because I've been genuinely looking forward to this game. I had it in my calendar and everything. I was all like, "Ooh, get the hype up." But yeah, the closer it got, I just realized this ain't gonna be for me this time, or at least not without like a significant investment in like actual PC hardware just to be able to like brute force my way through it, which is not a reasonable solution. And the worst thing is they're bringing back like some of my favorite monsters, man, like classic monsters like fucking Congalala, man, the stink monkey. Like he is iconic, and here I am. I don't even get to see the man, or if I did see him, I don't think I'd want to see him. I don't want to see my boy in that state. You know what I mean? With all that in mind, I am still hopeful for the future of it. There is still time for them to, optimize it properly with patches. Hopefully, they're quick on the ball with that one. It's not a good look right now. Yeah, for the meantime, for me, I think I'm gonna have to go back to Kingdom Come Deliverance and get on with that, which is kind of good because I've not even barely started that game, and then this game comes out. I was like, oh god, I'm gonna end up not finishing that one now and just playing this forever. So luckily, it went so badly that it sent me back to the game that I actually do need to finish. Here's the slight conspiracy bit that I was talking about. While I was wandering around the village towards the end, you speak to a little guy. He's like, "Oh yeah, we got the DLC store, blah 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 blah." So I had a little look around, and then I discovered that they have a high res texture pack in there, which kind of got me thinking. I wonder if that was actually the high res texture pack was actually what the intended graphics were meant to be from the start, but Capcom saw how poorly it was performing on like, a good portion of like people's hardware, that they actually took that out, put in lower res textures just to reduce the impact on release and give people, more people a better playing experience. And then just, be all like, oh, this is just like a optional extra. This is, it's just for the Giga Chad fucking gamers with their big bloody GPUs or whatever. When actually that was probably the intended graphics from the start, possibly. But yeah, obviously there's no way I can really know this. That would be, you'd have to work there to know something like that. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thought. It was a bit weird to see when it's, it's already running so poorly, but they're offering an even more intensive hardware experience. Either way, I hope in time they can get this sorted and I can return and play through this game and enjoy it, because it does genuinely look like they've really put some good features in it. Just small things like being able to run along on your secret and sharpen at the same time while you're chasing the monster. And just in general, there's a lot more like quality of life to keep the flow going. You don't have to return to base if you don't want to. You can just keep doing quest after quest. Like, it's definitely got some really good improvements in there. And yeah, just the sheer amount of returning classic monsters, man. And, even what's he called? What is he called? Even the Cheney boy, the Arkveld, like that is such cool monster design. So it's really a shame that I'm not going to get to experience it with everyone else. I hope this has been slightly informative or just at least interesting. Let me know how you got on. Like, were you part of the lower 50% who couldn't run it and had a bad time, or were you the premium tier of gamer? Let me know what gear you're running as well, so we can get an idea of what is actually viable to play the game, because the, recommended settings they've got up there are obviously not accurate. Do you think they're going to be able to course correct? Like, is this going to be a big blow to Monster Hunter, do you reckon? Let me know down below. Yeah, apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll be streaming Kingdom Come Deliverance on Twitch if you're interested in that. And also, you could probably see my VODs, well, my 4 separate broken up VODs of me trying to stream Monster Hunter and just fucking molding, basically. Having a bad time, but kind of laughing, but just being, just laughing at the ridiculousness of this overall release. It's just not been fun. But yeah, man, take it easy, have a good time, and hopefully you're enjoying Monster Hunter on my behalf. See you later, man.